Talked Canada a moment ago. Let's talk some China. Retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. are now in effect. Our Eunice Yoon is in Beijing this morning with the latest. Hi, Eunice.
Hey guys, well, Chinese stock prices tumbled, and this is because investors have been bracing for more tariff uncertainty. Today, the tariffs, the 10 to 15% tariffs that China kicked into place are going into effect or are in effect. And these are on American farm and food products covering $22 billion worth of goods. China's countermeasures also included the suspension of American timber. So last year, American exporters shipped $850 million worth of timber to China last year. The focus here in China now is how this trade war could affect the Chinese economy. We heard some negative news over the weekend. The economy is still showing signs of weakness. The consumer prices for February dropped at its fastest pace in 13 months. This reversed an increase and also missed expectations. At the ongoing National People's Congress, policymakers have been indicating that they are looking to prepare for a trade war, especially when it comes to food. The authorities here raised the grain output target for the year, as well as the budget target for stockpiling it, and that suggests that the authorities here want to make sure that the country has enough food and that the food prices are stabilized. Now, meanwhile, Chinese exporters, as well as their U.S. counterparts, are trying to figure out who pays for all the tariffs. For example, I spoke to two suppliers who said that their customer, Walmart, has been putting more pressure on them to take on all the costs, and they've been telling me that it's just so difficult, if not impossible, for them to take on a now 20% tariff. They said this is on top of the Trump 1.0 tariffs, and then one of them, at least, is eyeing on Wednesday the steel and aluminum tariffs, which would be coming in at 25%, and saying that all of this is just causing them a whole lot of whiplash. Guys?
Okay, so Eunice, if you don't want to play the game with Walmart, you lose your biggest customer. I've never seen anyone walk away from Walmart. It's just too big.
Right.
I don't really care if somebody feels they aren't going to make as much money with Walmart as they'd like to. They can't walk away. Why do these people, these businesses, think they can walk away? Who do they have in their back pocket to make up for Walmart?
Right. So it depends on, of course, which company you're talking about. But everybody does, as you say, they want to keep the relationship with Walmart. This is a very important relationship. And some of them have said that they are willing to take a loss, to just keep going as long as they are able to retain this relationship. But, at some point, how long can you keep going? And I think that's the big question that a lot of them have right now as to whether or not they would be able to maintain these losses. They're looking for other ways, as you said, looking domestically. Of course, some issues here, looking at other markets, but it is really difficult to replace the U.S. market. At the same time, though, Jim, it's also difficult for U.S. companies to replace the supply chains here, because a lot of U.S. companies that I speak to say that the supply chains are really good in China and that they've actually had trouble trying to switch over to other countries. So, it goes both ways.
Very good, Ruben.
Yeah, that's a good one. We didn't even talk CPI, negative for the first time in 13 months in China. We'll save that for another hit. Eunice, thank you. Eunice Yoon.